Okay. I think we're good. We're
Are we
good.
good? I think we're good now. I think we're good now. I think I was not. I think I was not talking. How about you? Did you say something?
Penis.
Penis. All right. We're now we're good. Now we're good for sure. So for real, welcome to the Machine Room Podcast. In case you were not paying attention or going here, it is October 22nd, and without even knowing, before we were even getting started for the machine room, I realized the presidential debate is happening. So I'm watching that off my third screen, really, because I got like two screens here already, but my phone, as we're doing this as well, just basically looking at reactions at this point, because the conversation really is a bunch of like, he said, he said kind of stuff.
It's total bullshit. It's two senior citizens arguing with each other.
They're like those Muppets.
They are. Oh my god.
Why hasn't anybody made that connection?
There's one with hair and there's one without hair. Yeah.
Oh man, but
It's
it
just
pretty much
like
is. It pretty much is like that, and it's entertaining. I've never seen presidential debate. I really don't care. I should, which is
I don't
bad.
either.
I should care. I really don't because you know
It'd
everybody's
be
going up.
different if they like followed along and answered their question and then shut the fuck up instead of just arguing and talking over each other.
Yeah, pretty much what it is. It's a big as it. It literally is a debate. They're just arguing over it. They just put them both in a ring and have them duke it out.
Duke it out. Yeah.
Yes.
Get a Joe Rogan to announce it. Get the UFC fighters.
Wouldn't that be sick?
I would love that. I would pay for that. That'd be like
Well,
a good pay-per-view.
did you ever play Ready to Rumble on the Dreamcast?
No.
No. Well, the game had it was like over exaggerated, stylized freaking boxing kind of game, and some secret characters or added characters or special characters were at that time Bill Clinton. Uh was it Hillary as well? No, I think just Bill Clinton. They had Michael Jackson
Nice.
as well.
What do you do? Just kick the shit out of you?
Michael Jackson was fucking great because in the game Ready to Rumble, the point is that you kept fighting whatever, and on the bottom you're building up your rumble.
Mhm.
You're building up your rumble. When you get to fill up rumble, you press some buttons and then it'll say rumble, and that's like your special, right? Someone
Right.
always gets like real turning, like whatever. But Michael, no, it's Michael. So he's like, ah, it was fucking great. And then he hit you with a fucking crazy ass combo. And usually every combo makes the character fly over the ropes out of the ring. It
Oh
was
my god.
it was a amazing game that they only made twice and then never made it for any other system, which is a shame.
Never.
It's a shame.
That is a shame. There's a PlayStation fighting game that was 3D. It was called Iron and Blood. It was
Ooh,
based off of Dungeons and Dragons,
really?
and that was amazing. I love that game. And then they never made any others. They made one.
Ooh, I see it right here. Yeah, damn, that's so PlayStation 1 graphics.
It is. Yeah. But it was cool because it was 3D, so you had to like line up with each other.
it looks like a game that would have popped out in a movie or TV show, kind of like Grandma's Boy or some shit, you know?
Right?
Like
Yeah,
that
totally.
kind of graphics.
But it was so fun.
It reminds me of one I had, excuse me, called shit. No.
It was
Uh
called shit.
Cardinal Sin? Yeah, Cardinal Sin. That was also for the PlayStation.
Nice.
And it was just like some weird game. You know how back then, you wanted a game and your family only got you a cheap ass game, you know?
Yeah,
That you
that's how I know about Iron and Blood.
exactly like they never it was like, yeah, just get them anything and then bam, you got some game called Cardinal Sin that didn't suck at all. It didn't, but it was good. You just never heard
That
of it
was
again.
my parents never knew like what games to get, so they'd always get like the $20 cheap, game that
Exactly.
you never heard of. You're like, what the fuck is this?
I think I don't know if that's how I found out about Destrega, which is another game that is not it's not known, but was like so good and unique and I guess ahead of its time. You literally the story was that it was back way back then, like medieval times, maybe whatever, and magic was around, right? So everybody had magic, and you literally just fight in this big open arena, and you're just running around just shooting magic at each other. And the magic was just done by one button. So you press X as one magic, square is another one,
Hmm.
so forth and so forth. And if you wanted to do a special, all you had to do was do the combo and press all four of them in an order, like square, X, circle, and triangle, something like that. And then you do a real big
Right.
one. And that's basically what it was. And everybody had their own special kind of fucking magic and stuff like that. And it was a pretty cool game. The whole story was that this explained why the world doesn't have magic, because at the end you get these talisman or whatever, and if you said the word estrega, then it just eradicated magic everywhere and shit like that.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So
It's crazy that we remember all that.
it's these unique games, like no one knows
Yeah.
about, and they stay with you for a long, long time. That
Hmm.
game actually, I was able to find again because I owned it, and then my nephew, that little kid, did a lot of stuff, stole a lot of my games and whatnot. So that game just like disappeared. But on the PS3, it was on the store, and I got it. So I have it, but in the PS3 only. You know what I'm saying?
Oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So it lives in there,
Just in there.
just in there, nowhere else, unless the PS5 has something special.
I hope so.
They got a thing about backwards compatibility and shit like that.
Yeah. Because they're fucky.
They're like, you play games now. Uh,
Did you post the stuff on like Twitter and Facebook?
I am doing it on Facebook right now as we're speaking.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
What about Twitter?
Twitter, I have not. So if you like to do that as I'm doing right now, I put it under my Facebook. Now I'm putting it under the My Way Facebook, and then I will put it under the Goon Facebook. And for those who are listening and you have no idea what the hell we're talking about, well, where the fuck have you been? I'm pretty sure you do, because the only
Right.
people that listen to us are our own cyber goons and whatnot. I think the only time is like someone. I remember one time you said like there was some guy who commented about Trump and whatnot, and that guy just probably just landed on us like randomly or some shit.
Yeah, that was on YouTube.
Yeah, I love Trump.
And good for you.
I've seen. I mean, I still don't get it, man. Like, especially Latino, like a Mexican to support Trump. I just don't get
Hmm.
it.
I don't either. I can't fathom or understand why women would support Trump over
Exactly.
how much of a douchebag he is. It bugs the shit out of me.
Bugs the shit out of a lot of people. But I also saw a video of some girl. She's like, me being forced to go with my parents to a Trump rally, and she's all like, there's nobody wearing masks, and then like I'm over here sitting by myself because not supporting this, you know. I'm like,
Right.
that's good, girl. That girl is smart. She didn't go follow like the family and supporting. Got a mind of her own.
That's nice. Yeah,
That's what we
that's
need.
good to be.
Yeah, we
More
need people
people like that.
with their own with their own heads, with their own minds and shit like that. Watching this debate right here, right now, you know, I'm both. I mean, both guys resonate confidence.
Oh.
Trump is just like resonating like super narcissistic, cocky confidence.
Yeah, he's an arrogant douchebag. He
Yeah,
probably smells like Axe body spray.
Biden just the proper confidence, but also he acts like he could be like he's like your grandfather, you know? Like he knows what to say and he's just trying to go through his thoughts and he's like, you know, back in my day kind of stuff. That's why I kind of
Yeah.
that's why I laugh at Jim Carrey's interpretation of Biden cuz that's kind of like an over exaggeration of what he is, you know, like he's this cool guy trying to be hip and whatever and it is hip and he knows all this stuff, but he's also your old grandfather, you know, being hip
Right.
kind of shit. You know, I get it. A lot of people are like, nah, no. What lately they've been. I see on Twitter since the last time he did it, they've been like, "Oh, Jason Sudeikis was the best Biden." No, but Sudeikis was like Biden then. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, all we got were these little clips of him being lively and being like the best bro of Obama and pictures of him being like the extra cool guy. That's because that's what we got there. Now we get more of who he is, and that's what Jim Carrey is like representing. At least in my opinion, comedy wise, that's what it is.
Right. I agree.
Yeah. What's the damn it, the word, not a calligraphy, not a calligraphy, caricature, right? That's it.
Yeah.
It's like a caricature of the character.
It's like an exaggeration.
Yeah, that's what it is. The
Exactly.
Alec Baldwin of Trump is just Trump because he is already a caricature of himself. He is an exaggeration of himself.
Exactly.
And that's 101 of comedy. I teach classes every week.
You have a seminar coming to Albuquerque.
Exactly. I have a seminar. I do that. And then at the end, it's like, any questions? And then they just go like, one question. Where's Randy? Son of a bitches. Dro
It's
just hit
funny
the
'cause it's true.
Dro just hit the place. He's like he's lurking, but he's also watching the debate. So am I, Dro. I'm not even watching. It's there. You know, right now I'm not even hearing. I'm just seeing Biden pretty much look towards the camera and it's like, in my representation, he's just going, "This motherfucker's stupid. What's wrong with y'all? This motherfucker." Also, Trump just said he knows more about wind than Biden does. Really?
Fact check. I don't think so.
No. I think the only one who knows more about wind is Aang. Cause
There you go.
he's the last airbender.
It's true.
So unless Trump is an airbender, I don't know about that.
It's like, bitch, I might be.
Maybe underneath that toupee, he has the fucking
This shit.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
what he's covering up. Yeah.
the arrow.
The arrow. That's why his hair is like that. Everything to the front and then coming back.
Wouldn't it be better if he had a mohawk? No, a mullet.
A mullet.
Imagine him with a mullet.
I think his supporters would just like him more. His supporters are like mullet having people, so it
Red
would just
hats.
go together. The red hats, yes, with mullets.
All right, I mean, I don't want to sound like an idiot here, but like I said, me and politics, we're not so close. Can you explain to me what, as a little kid, like I'm like 5 or something, okay? Explain to me in the simplest form, the hell does fracking mean, and why do they keep mentioning it?
Fracking,
Fracking.
it's a way of drilling for oil that is not it's not in like a big pool, like like the I drink your milkshake thing from There Will Be Blood.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a big huge bubble of oil underground. That's how they usually dig for it. They mine for it and then they just suck up everything that's in that big basically like cavity of oil. Fracking is there's oil, but it's mixed in with the dirt and stuff underground. So by fracking, they vibrate the ground, and in a way, the oil accumulates and they're able to suck it out.
So are they saying this as a metaphor, or they're literally talking about fracking?
I don't know. I didn't get to that. I didn't hear them talk about fracking, but
I've been hearing this for like weeks or since the last debate of fracking, and I'm like, what the hell's that? To me, I thought they were saying like this is them cursing on TV instead of saying fucking. They're saying fracking, 'cause, it's
like Battlestar Galactica.
yeah, just two old guys. Biden already said that's a lot of malarkey. Maybe he was like, you're fracking crazy. Like I thought that's what he was doing. But then it
If
sounded like it was
they
some political term for some shit, and I was like, okay, I'm lost. I don't know what's going on.
if they were using it like that, that would be really cool because that would be referencing Battlestar Galactica, the remake. Because they said it all the time. They're like, "What the frack? Did you frack her?"
Biden just comes out and starts quoting Battlestar Galactica like crazy.
Oh my god, I'd vote for him twice.
You get all the nerd verts,
Verts, the nerd
nerd
votes, yes,
verts. That's a new rapper name.
nerd verts.
Nerd vert, like little Uzi Vert, but not nerd vert. I'm gonna write that down. Nerd, nerd
Vert.
vert.
Got to get that mixtape. Nerd vert mixtape.
Nerd vert mixtape. What was the title be? I'm not fracking around.
Straight
That's
out of Galactica.
out of this Galactica.
Yes.
I'm not fracking around. Straight out of Galactica. Speaking of straight out of, just want to say that I watched the music video to Digital Underground's same song from the Nothing But Trouble movie, and in it Dan Aykroyd is just there, throughout the whole video, of course, from movies of the clips, but actually in the
Right.
video, and he's literally like chilling with Digital Underground and also dressed up with NWA. So, in conclusion, Dan Aykroyd is part of Digital Underground and is a member of NWA. He is literally the coolest white person to have ever lived,
Just ever.
just ever.
And he knows about aliens and ghosts and shit.
He probably is an alien.
I would believe it.
He probably is
He
an alien.
talks
I mean,
way too fast.
how does someone come up with cone heads? Ghostbusters, Nothing But Trouble, fucking Blues Brothers. What else has that man created?
I don't know if he created it, but he was in Gross Point Blank.
Oh no, he didn't create it, but he was a gem in Gross Point Blank.
He was so fucking great in that movie.
Oh my god, that guy had me saying popcorn for no reason.
I love that movie.
I love that
I
movie
love when he
too.
pulls the gun in the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
That's like my favorite scene.
You gonna kill Pudro? Huh?
God damn it! Now I need to watch that movie.
That movie needed. I wanted a sequel so bad.
I know, right? Or like, what else would be cool is like a TV show prequel.
Right? You could have gone far with that. Like
Right.
he didn't do the hit, basically went against it, killed those people, so then they
Hmm.
would come after him. Like, you know?
Yeah, they totally left it for like a sequel, but it never happened.
Never.
And Minnie Driver has a huge head. What the
Mini
fuck?
Driver. That movie made me have a crush on her.
For real.
Yeah. And it was just like in that movie, like I had a major crush on her there.
That's the only movie I thought she was cute.
Yeah, right?
I think it was the music thing. It made her like really attractive that she was like this nerd for music like that.
It was not just like the music thing, it was everything in her, how she was, and the little humor they had with each other, and she dressed all cute. And then the time when um he goes to her place, and then he was like, you wanna do airplane or whatever, and they do that little
I
thing where
love
she's
that. Yeah,
I'm like, oh, that's cute.
that's hella cute. I
I
love
want
shit like that.
I want a Mini Driver as well. She looked cute with the
Drew
little
says
dress on and everything.
she does.
So
Drew said the debate is over. What a tame shart show. I agree.
you agree, and you didn't even have to watch it,
I watched like 5 minutes.
and that's all
I
you
got
need
the
to say.
gist of it. That's all I needed.
That's why,
I'm
like I
done
said,
after that.
this is the first time I watched the debate, and literally in the beginning, it was like, okay, we got some order here, and then it just like totally lasted just probably those 5 minutes, and then it just went fucking
That was
crazy,
it.
and it just went crazy to a point where she was like literally screaming at Trump to go to move on and shit. I,
Like, would you shut the fuck up?
yeah, like, Mr. President, I have to go. Mr. President, I need to move on. I need to move on. And he's just over there like, Biden got money from Russia and China, and that's all he sounded like.
I love it. I love it so hard.
Dro said, "We all deserve a mini driver in our lives." Why hasn't anybody
It's true.
drawn a Minnie Mouse as Mini Driver?
I need my own mini driver from Grosse Point Lake.
The music. The music in
You
that
hear
movie.
my dogs?
I hear them messing with stuff, yes.
She's eating a bone. She's going like full retard.
Ooh, shit, a real bone? Have you killed someone and you left the bones there?
Hell yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. This is the only time.
Easy
Like,
cleanup.
imagine if like purge happened, but it wasn't a day. It was just the whole month of October.
Oh my god. I would like hide out in Carlsbad Caverns.
Just
Hope
the
nobody would found me.
whole month of October, and everybody just fucking killing.
I love it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's not. I don't want to die. I'm pretty sure there's people out there who want to kill me. I really
Okay,
want to do that.
so speaking of, there's a movie called War Incorporated, and it's thought to be the informal sequel to Grosse Point Blank. Both films are similar in style and theme, and both films star John Cusack as an assassin and Joan Cusack as his assistant.
What? What? War Incorporated?
Yeah, War Inc.
It's American political comedy.
But the names are different. His character's not the same name.
Oh, okay. I see that.
So I can see that it would be an informal sequel, but still something to watch.
Dan Aykroyd is in it too.
Yeah,
What? Oh, it has Hilary
that's
Duff.
cool.
The world knows.
I
I
just saw that.
love me some. Is that Montel Jordan?
Is it?
I see a picture with everybody in there, and it's Montel Jordan. Montel Williams. I'm sorry, Montel Williams is in this movie
It is. Holy shit.
as a navigational system similar to OnStar.
I want that. I want the Montel Williams GPS.
Oh, right here. I see it right here. War Inc. is thought to be an informal sequel to 1997. Okay, both films are similar style and theme, and both films started. But do they? But do both films have fucking awesome shootouts?
The shootouts are amazing.
But why make a spiritual cousin when you could have just made a fucking sequel?
They probably couldn't get the rights to it.
How do you not get? Can you get the right to it now? Look, he's so older now. He can't pull it off.
It'd be cool to see a sequel with them all old,
Right?
where he's like forced to have to start killing again.
You
That
could
would be
still,
funny.
yeah, you could still get Minnie Driver. No, Alan Arkin's dead. Dan Aykroyd, Joan Cusack, Jeremy Piven, Hank Azaria. But you could get all these people back.
Yeah,
Well, all you really need is John Cusack, Minnie Driver, and Jeremy Pivens, really.
that's about it, and the rest is whatever, depending on the writing.
Or just fuck. You know what to do. Just add John Cusack to John Wick.
Yes, that would be fucking amazing.
John
Where
Cusack.
he's like at the that hotel. That would be cool.
The Continental?
The Continental, yeah. I was trying to think of it.
Yes. Where's that
Like,
series at? That was supposed to be the series, remember?
was it called the Continental?
Yeah, it was called the Continental.
Yeah. Aren't they working on it?
I guess. I don't know. But the John Wick game, John Wick Hex or whatever, is about to come
John
out.
Cuick.
John Q
It
Wick? I like it.
I love it.
That is the real spiritual successor to Gross Point Blank.
John Wick. John Cuick.
Yeah. Me and my nephews back then, we loved that movie and we quoted one part of it all the time. We made fun of it. And this is a spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen the movie. Shame on you for not seeing Gross Point Blank.
Right?
He fight Benny the Jet Orquídez, you know? Cool little fight scene right there in the hallway. And well, the school hallway, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And he finishes him off with a fucking pen. Homegirl comes and looks at him and he's all bleeding and he's just like, what he said, it's not me or wasn't my fault or something like that, you know?
I thought he said it's not me.
Yeah, it's not me. And we always made fun of it because the way he said, he was like, it's not me. And we would quote that, just saying it like that.
That's funny.
Just like we will always quote Kill Bill and the way he said, Hantori Hanzo Steel.
I love that.
He really emphasized the steel.
Deal.
And watching it again and I'm trying to look for it. I'm like, okay, honey, right here. This is the part when he says steel. He doesn't say it like that. He just said Hantori Hanzo Steel. But it's still like, you know, it feels like
It's in your mind.
yeah.
It sounds like it goes on forever.
Like it's an extreme Ren and Stimpy zoom close up to the mouth saying steel.
Yeah. I love it.
So for those watching and listening, if you haven't seen Gross Point Blank, definitely
You
gotta
see
check it
it.
out. There's people. Can you? I mean, I know you could believe it, but technically you can't believe it. That there's people out there who haven't seen things. You know, like
I know it begs the shit out of me. Like, I remember after what's it? What the fuck? after Richard Pryor died, and a younger friend of mine didn't know who he was. It just blew me away. Like, how can you not know who Richard Pryor is?
How young we talking?
Like,
I could believe it like now because these kids won't know who the fuck Richard Pryor is. But you know what it is? It's because I think, and I had this conversation today. I mentioned Three Amigos
yes.
because there's these three freaking Mexicans and they're like really close and they're getting away with everything. They're always together, so we call them the Three Amigos. And then I was like, because they're Mexican. But she was like, shouldn't it be the Three Musketeers? Like, no, because they're white, but these guys are Mexican, so Three Amigos. But though technically Three Amigos are white. And she's like, what? They're white? And it's like, and then someone else was like,
Yeah.
yeah, the movie. And it's like, yeah, it was Steve Martin, Martin Short, Chevy Chase. It's like, I don't know nothing about this. It's like, you never seen the Three Amigos? And then
What
we
the
started
fuck?
mentioning. He's like, I never seen stuff that's before my time. It's like I grew up with stuff before my time. Then everyone in the
Yeah.
fucking car was mentioning every fucking TV show before our time that we grew up watching. But I think the difference is that when we were growing up, that was really like it was really presented to us a lot, and widely because we watch TV like crazy. These days, I think they're more confined when all these kids are really stuck onto like YouTube or gaming and stuff like that, where they're not really being exposed to more stuff like we were, because we will watch something like
Hmm.
on Nickelodeon, as bam, Nick at Night, and you're
Yeah, and you
exposed
would
to,
watch that till you went to bed.
yeah. I think it's just the different kind of generation and stuff like that. So that's why people are like, oh, but I wasn't around that time, and I was like, that's not really an excuse
That
because
that doesn't matter.
yeah, but I think now, I guess it is an excuse. Womp womp.
I know it's sad. I think, like, especially growing up with television, you watch almost anything. Like, before you got into shit that you liked, like your preferences, you would watch anything
Hmm.
unless it was like, okay, this is boring or, whatever. So we just absorbed everything, new shit, old shit, current shit, previous shit. We just watched it all. So that made us like these sponges of pop culture and television and movies and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Whereas nowadays, people don't watch TV anymore. They'll rent something online or, watch YouTube or Netflix, or they're watching very small demographic kind of stuff, like niche programming. And they're not getting that same exposure like we had growing up.
Only if something becomes viral do they get exposed to it. Like
Right.
now, there's this big explosion to Fleetwood Mac because of that dude who did the TikTok with playing the Fleetwood Mac song Dreams. Now
Oh,
people are
wow.
like, "Oh, Fleetwood Mac," and they're like listening to Dreams, and Fleetwood Mac is like back in the fucking airwaves
Late
and shit like that.
70s. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like it's only that way that people get introduced to something before. But like you said, when we grew up, it was just exposed to us. Period. Even when Looney Tunes was on till like late '90s, and
Yep.
Looney Tunes started like way before our time, but it was like repeated until then. So I knew all about like Stooges and Marx Brothers and other stuff like that because Looney Tunes was still going and you know uh joking about these characters and these actors
Yeah.
and stuff from that time, so I knew of them because of that time. Somewhere in the 90s we had our own new kind of version of Looney Tunes, which was Animaniacs, and they did that. They
Hmm.
joked and did satires about stuff like that, which is exciting because it's coming back next month, and I'm already excited to see what they're gonna touch upon.
Make fun of.
I already saw some, like, there's a trailer out, and there's like this big giant cyclops of a Trump. So can't wait to see what that's about. Dro's over here in the chat room talking those. Let's see. He said only film he's seen with Richard Pryor is Superman 3, but I have
Which
bits of a
sucked.
stand-ups and interviews, he was hilarious. Yes, he was. And yes, Superman 3 did suck.
Sucks of it. 3 and 4 are both terrible.
We don't
Um,
talk about those.
if you want to watch a good Richard Pryor movie that he's not even in, watch what is that Western?
Oh, the Brooks one?
The Mel Brooks movie, yeah.
Blazing Saddles.
Blazing Saddles. He wrote that movie.
He
And
was
it's
supposed to
fucking
be,
hilarious.
right?
I think he was supposed to be in it and then that didn't happen, so he just wrote it. But the guy that got the role is fucking phenomenal. He's hilarious. Um Richard Pryor wasn't I'm gonna say he wasn't a good actor because his movies suck, but his stand up is amazing. So if you watch like his stand up specials, they're phenomenal.
Richard Pryor movies, the only one that really stand out to me and I love and remember was anything with him and Homeboy. What was his name?
Gene Wilder.
Yeah, him and Willy Wonka. That like those two together was a freaking amazing pairing that they
Mhm.
made a few movies together. How many would it
Yeah,
be?
at least 3.
Yeah. They were a pair. Like their movies were like
Yeah.
guaranteed hilarious, and those were the ones that I would like. I loved of Richard Pryor. Like to me, they were just a combo deal. It's like him and Gene Wilder. I mean, like that was what I wanted.
He was in that movie, the David Lynch movie, Lost Highway. He's only in it a couple minutes, but and it was after his strokes and stuff. So he's in a wheelchair, but he's still fucking funny.
He is hilarious. Richard Pryor was always one one man I looked up to when it came to, you know how they say, like, if you want to stand out or you want to get more out there and whatever, you got to censor yourself and whatnot. And I highly believe not to censor myself. You know,
Right.
I mean, to a little bit, but Richard Pryor was someone who was uncensored. He went out there and he said what he said and he cursed what he cursed. He didn't care, blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that and I believe in that. You know, it's like my stuff should be only seen by a certain mature people, and if I'm not trying to get aim for the kids and whatnot, I just want to be free and not be
Mm-hmm.
confined. And Richard Pryor was one of those comedians that was just free and nothing. And Eddie Murphy was like that too back in the day.
Yeah. And speaking of stuff that we grew up with, I was always a big stand-up comedian watcher. Everybody go to bed, and I'd stay up until midnight or 2 in the morning watching. Used to be called the Comedy Channel, and then it was Comedy Central,
Mm-hmm.
and they would just have stand-up comedians. They'd have, Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy and random people like Bill Hicks that I got into, and all of them, like George Carlin and all those greats like that. They were all about free speech, and that really pushed me into stuff that I've written and doing Gorilla Joe and stuff like that. It was always that kind of humor where it was like enlightening and funny.
Yeah. Dro's mentioning like which is the movie where Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder were blind and deaf, and that's the one that's in my head.
I was thinking that too.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Hear No Evil? Something? No.
Something like that. You ever see no evil, some shit like that. I have to be careful now because every fucking stand-up comedian that I love is fucking,
Yeah,
being canceled. It is kind of pissing me off.
I know. Yeah, it's called See No Evil, Hear No Evil.
There you go.
They did that, Silver Streak, Another You, and Stir Crazy.
Four. They fucking dominated. There should be a bundle deal with all those guys.
And again, they would have done Blazing Saddles together, but for whatever reason, Richard Pryor's not in it.
Now, even the I think I heard an interview. Even though that they did movies together, he loved the guy and he was cool with him, but he didn't or something. Or am I wrong?
I don't know. I always heard they were like best friends.
I think they did. Or maybe it was just one of those comedian shit, like like me saying with like LP, it's like, yeah, man, I love the guy, but he's a fucking asshole, stuff like that, like best friend kind of
Right.
shit. It probably was like a best friend kind of shit or whatever.
Exactly. I tell people that all the time. I'm like, Nas from the Juggernaut video? They're like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, he's a fucking asshole.
Yeah, that's what I expect you to say.
Hate that guy.
I
Such a
expect you to
douchebag.
say, there's a rule among friends, like I even say that at work. It's like, hey, you can't talk shit about me. He could talk shit about me. You can't talk shit about me. That's the rule. It's like
Exactly.
my best friend can talk shit about me. You can't talk shit about me.
Exactly. That is that unwritten friend role.
Yes, that's it.
That should be the name of our memoirs. You
Unwritten
can't talk
friend
shit
rule.
about.
Oh, you can't talk shit about us. And it's just like the book is just split in half, and it's just each of us talking shit about each other.
Exactly.
And then we do See No Evil, Hear No Evil remake.
Yes, I would watch that.
And then
But I could.
we totally diss it too during the marketing. It was like we fucking hate remakes, and this one is as bad.
It's stupid. Oh, I can't believe it got made.
we only we only did it as a joke to show how bad remakes are, and then it becomes a smash hit.
Exactly. And we make
hmm
money.
And we make
And then
money,
we
and we buy what?
buy Google. There we go.
We buy Google, and then we'll still diss. Is like we're just pointing out how you guys just hate crap, and uh,
Yeah, we're just plain Joe says respectful, friendly hatred. Exactly.
it's not a remake if it's referred to as a Swedish film. Oh,
Well, there you go.
we just found ourselves a loophole right there. We just found ourselves a good loophole.
Loophole.
See, now this makes me want to actually like. I haven't seen Gene Wilder Richard Pryor movie in forever, like
Well,
for
there's the
ever,
four of them.
forever. That'd be real nice.
Wait, let me pull it up again.
I do remember those Comedy Central days. Like the only way you could see a good special was on Comedy Central, and it would be like 30 minutes
Yeah,
stand-up special, and you're like, yeah. Now it's Netflix.
they used to be on. They used to show stand-up comedy on Friday nights.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to love staying up late watching all the stand-up comedians.
Oh man, speaking of stand-up comedians, like Power Francisco was one of my favorites, but I was
Mhm.
informed like he's just been not fucking up, but he just like has no new material. So there's this video of him like just doing his usual stuff, but just bombing hard.
Oh, really?
Ah, yeah, and it was hard to see, and I was like, man, like that guy's one of my faves. I would expect that he created new material since then, but he's still doing the movie guy and stuff like that. But then there's people who still do their stuff and still Frank Caliendo still does impersonations and he's still fucking funny for it.
Yeah.
He's always growing with it. And let's talk about like Robin Williams was always everywhere with his shit.
Oh
He
my
was
god, I love his stand-up. He can make me laugh so fucking hard that I would miss like 2 minutes of audio, and I'd
I
have to
always
go back and rewatch his stand-up because you'd always find something new that you missed.
yeah, I always loved his HBO one. That one was
Oh
fucking
my god. I fell asleep to that one and I woke up at the end when he's doing this.
no.
And nothing would come out. I was trying to laugh and like just air came out. It's only happened to
Oh,
me twice and it was Robin Williams and the first time I saw the Boondocks.
oh man.
Just air. Just air would come out. No sound.
That's hilarious. And then I'm just laughing because that bit was funny as shit, and he was hairy as fuck.
So fucking hairy.
So fucking
Just
hairy.
hairy and soaked in his own sweat.
He was sweaty as hell, man.
Super
Sweaty.
sweaty.
It's a shame. It's a damn shame. It's so
I still
sad.
can't watch his movies.
It's hard, right?
It's too hard. It's
I
like I tried to watch something. I watched what's that Matt Damon movie?
Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting. Yeah. It was so hard to watch it.
I watched Aladdin, and it was just like it was
Ugh.
great, and I loved how the genie is, but it was just heartbreaking because it's like, man, this is one of those. His loss is one of those things like you felt like you lost someone, like a member of the family, because
That you know.
yeah, like we literally
Yeah.
grew up with him.
Yeah.
We
Same
literally
thing
did,
when Carrie Fisher died. It felt like that was like a member of my family.
right?
I was like, she didn't die. Like, yeah. Like, come on.
We literally grew up with these people, and I can't
Mhm.
like fathom. Like, I love that there's like this resurgence of Jim Carrey and stuff like that, because we gotta honor this motherfucker, because the day he leaves is gonna be a very sad day.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm gonna fight.
I can't. I grew up on Robin Williams and fucking Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey was everything to me.
Well, I'm older than you. Jim Carrey came later, so. But Robin Williams was always there, like even like old Morgan Mindy and shit like that.
Nanu Nanu.
Nano.
That's true. Robin Williams the Gene. He was a straight G.
Fuck life.
Drill say he can't watch his final films because then that's it. I don't
What
even know
was
what his final
his?
films are.
I don't
16
either.
bit. How you doing? Just got back from MR's debate coverage. Dumpy was incoherently rambling fascist shit. He's toast as all the ballots get counted. I hope so. I hope so. Because there's the thing, right? The last election, we were all like, huh, this guy's not going to get voted. Hillary got this in the bank. Did not.
So Google says Robin Williams' last movie is called Absolutely Anything.
Not sure if I know that one.
Never seen it.
Nope.
It's got the dude from
Uh-huh.
Shaun of the Dead.
Uh oof. Fuck. What's his name? I know his name.
It's like right
Simon
on the
Pegg.
tip of my tongue. Simon Pegg, thank you.
There you go.
Yeah.
All
And
I
that
had
was
in
in
my head was
2015.
all I had in my head was Sean Penn, because he said Shaun of the Dead. I'm like, Sean Penn. No, wait, that's another actor.
I was thinking Penn too. I was like, that's not right.
I
And
knew
I'm looking at him.
his buddy's name, Nick Frost, but I couldn't remember
Yeah.
Simon Pegg for the life of me
I love them together.
for that moment.
Oh, Robin Williams isn't even in it. He just did the voice of the dog.
Well, there you go.
No wonder he killed himself. Oh.
Oh shit! Too soon. But too soon. Too soon.
How long do you have to wait until something's funny? Isn't it like 22 years?
Damn, there's a rule? I didn't even know that.
And they talked about it on South Park.
Oh, really?
It was like 22 and a half years or something. And they were like, AIDS is finally funny.
I think AIDS. Oh, well, yeah. when can we joke about 9/11?
22 and a half years.
I know Rick and Morty did that one in season 4. Where they're just fucking leaving, and then they see those two towers.
The
They're
Twin
like,
Tower.
no, I don't think we could.
Like, but it's okay to do Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
Because enough time had passed. That's why it was funny.
Release post mortem, including Night of the Museum 3. Night of the Museums were my shit, and Robert Williams, yeah, he was fun in that one too.
I didn't like those movies.
You don't like Night of the Museum?
I liked the first one, but I think it was okay. We get the premise. Why do you need 5 sequels?
There were two. I forgot what the second one. I know the third one was because the they went they ended up in London now, I think, or
Oh, really?
Smithsonian or some shit, and the tablet. There was something to it. It was still fun. Fuck it. I don't care. I did not see the other two. I don't know when something's made and then it has a sequel. Like I check out the sequel unless it was like back in the day when it was like, oh, this sequel is like straight to DVD, and I'm like, that's not a real movie.
That used to be a bad thing. Now
Yeah.
with COVID, it's like it's happening all the time.
Yeah, but now with COVID, I mean, it's really just like straight to on demand or Netflix or Amazon. You're like, hell yeah, because it still has credibility.
Right.
Back then, it was like
There's like
straight to video. It's like, ugh, this is not really fucking Aladdin 2. This is not real.
the
Like, someone
that's a
like
whole
my,
other topic right there is
yeah.
Disney sequels that went straight to fucking video.
Yeah,
Oh, they're awful.
I never considered those sequels. Like, we were watching, like, I saw Pocahontas. Was it Pocahontas? No, not Pocahontas. It was Mulan, right? And then it was like
Uh-huh.
Mulan 2. And my girl and her brothers were like, you never seen Mulan 2? I was like, no, because they were
Fucking
straight to
video.
video. So to me, they were like, that's not a real fucking sequel. It was bullshit. Get out of here. I didn't spend my time watching that. Though I
Like
did watch the Aladdin sequels.
all the
And
Jafar movies.
yeah. And I do consider Lion King 1.5 a great sequel.
Really?
Mm-hmm. If you've never seen that one, you should.
No.
Because that one with Timon and Pumbaa basically is fucking genius. It's
Is it
really,
the original guys?
yeah, it's a before they meet Simba and then a during kind of shit.
Okay.
Like it literally takes place during the first movie kind of stuff too, and it wraps stuff up and it's just funny. And I was like, this is creative. This is a good little sequel.
Nice.
Haven't seen the recent Jumanji, but the second film was surprisingly hilarious. Are you talking about like okay, in the
The one
terms
with
of
the rock.
Jumanji, the one with the rock is considered kind of a sequel, and then the other one's considered the third one. It's still there.
Right.
Those are great. I've seen the last two, and yeah, they're still funny. They're still good. They still like you thought about it, right? It's like Jumanji 2, and you're like, come on, how can you do this, man? Blah blah. Then you see the movie, you're like, oh, okay, not bad. And I think what really
I'm
got my respect was the fact that it wasn't like rebooting or anything like that, or I don't know, it wasn't a remake or anything. It was literally in the same universe, literally right, not after, but literally like takes place after. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like,
it's like a sequel.
yeah. So they go and they talk about it. They mention that Robin Williams character and everything like that, and you're like, oh shit, this is legit. This is canon. This is good.
Yeah.
I like it. And then
As
you
long
got
as it's a canonical storyline.
it's all good.
But I didn't really like the original Jumanji because I was such a altruist to the book.
Oh yeah, it's way far from the book.
It's so fucking far removed from the book. It's in, like it has the animals and the style that they look like in the book, and it has the board game. That's about it.
Yeah, it was far from the book, but it was good still. It was good.
It's fun to watch.
It was good. It was. It's like I don't know. Like back then, it was easier to accept stuff because even though it was, in my opinion, even though something was far from it, it was still like put love and creatively made. I just think about like the mask. I have to say, I
Right.
mean, I haven't heard anybody say anything like, "Oh, this movie is a piece of shit." It's nothing like the comic. When I mostly seen and heard like it's like, "Oh, this movie is different from the comic, but it's still great." You know what I'm saying?
Right. Not like an Alan Moore
Oh, not no, don't even
talking
get
about
me.
his own shit.
Fuck that guy, man. I don't. Don't get me started. Fuck that guy. Look, I don't give a shit if you created some of the best damn comics in the world.
Ever.
Shut the fuck up and he's like the Kanye of comic books or something. It's just
And he's a
I,
wizard.
I don't know, like he doesn't like anything.
No, he's very, very particular. He won't watch any of his comics that were made into movies.
But and
And
he also talks
everybody
shit
tells him all the time. Oh, God.
he also talks shit about comics though.
It's true.
Like he said like this
He's
is
got
like
it.
just for kids and blah blah. It's like motherfucker, you make comics or you did comics.
He still does. But he makes stuff that, you know, is way too over people's heads and crazy shit that most people probably wouldn't read.
Now, was Watchmen too impossible to be adapted?
Watchmen?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. I think it was very, very. It's the best movie adaptation of a comic book ever,
Okay.
and that's with the changes. And they're not huge. The ending's different, but it makes sense. It's not
Yes.
like huge mammoth leaps. It's not like what you brought up. You brought up the mask. The mask, the movie compared to the comic are two totally different fucking things.
Mm-hmm.
But Watchmen, I mean, it's so true to the graphic novel and the comics that you can quote or read along with it. Especially if you watch the ultimate cut,
And I
you
have.
can read along with the comic, and it's
Mm-hmm.
almost verbatim. So
Right.
we were quoting it in the theater because we had, read the books.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it was impossible to adapt a film. I think it was because they wanted to do it back in the 80s and then again in the 90s. I think it was impossible then because they didn't have the technology. But when it came out finally, I think that was the right time because we had the technology to do it.
I think they did also didn't have that kind of like movie making structure, you know? When you
Right.
go to yeah, I mean, as much freaking criticism that gets to Zack Snyder, this motherfucker knows the source and loves the source and presents the source in a very good manner, but it flies over people's head. Watchmen people loved. Apparently, people didn't love too because I was at my comic book store one time and there was just this conversation between the freaking guy who worked there and some customer, and they were just talking about how Watchmen was not as good and not true to the
What?
comic and shit like that. And I'm over there like, this is the conversations I heard other stuff about. Man, they just have conversations about stuff, and I'm like, you guys are just very cynical. Like, what's going on here? I never read the comics of Watchmen. I saw the movie. I
Mhm.
loved the movie. Later, did I see the motion comic? You know, they made a motion comic and
Yeah,
everything. And I was
I
like,
have that.
yeah, I watched that and I was like, wow, this is fucking great. Oh, I see what's different, whatever. And then I watched the extended thing where they put in that kid reading the comic book in the movie, you
Yep.
know? And I was like, oh, okay, this is just like the comic. I got
Just
everything.
like
Yeah, like to me, it was a great freaking perfect adaptation. There's only a few other movies that's like that. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is another one.
yep.
Okay. Um, I can't think of anything else.
That's it. That's the two.
Maybe that is the two, but they're good. That was a good adaptation. It didn't have his freaking little pet, Ozymandias pet. You see it once in the movie, like out of nowhere. You're like, okay. And they change, like you said, the ending of what attacks New York, and it does make more sense than the comic book kind of like alien invasion kind of shit.
Well, to give it credit, it was called a squid.
It was
It
what
was
now?
like an initialism
Mm-hmm.
or an acronym. It was called squid.
It's just
I
squid.
was like, okay, they did put that in there.
But if it was done around the 90s, remember the 90s did make, and we watched this again because apparently it's one of my girl's favorite movies. I mean, I didn't know that. The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
I love
And
that movie.
exactly, like I watched it. I remember how Alan Moore didn't like it and how fucking this made Sean Connery
Sean
retire
Connery.
from filmmaking or whatever and stuff like that, and how it bombed back then. But I think that's one of those, like, it wasn't appreciated then gems, but you watch it and it was like this movie was fucking dope. Number one, Nemo was the shit. Okay, Nemo was
Oh my
kicking
god.
ass.
That dude owned so fucking hard.
Oh my god. And then, I mean, as a grown up now, like I really get it. These were all literature fucking people.
Literary characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These were all literary characters. And I was like, oh, this is fucking great. And I always thought the fucking Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde was dope as shit. You know,
Oh my
when
god, it was so cool, right? Wasn't 90s, it came out in July 2003, but close.
close. Okay. Okay. Early 2000s. They still didn't get the formula right.
But I love that movie. Anytime it's on, I'll watch it.
Yeah, it was a great movie. It was fucking dope as shit. It's not the perfect fucking comic book movie, but it is a dope fucking. It looked beautiful. It was all loud. These
Mhm.
characters were really well, and it was just cool. I don't know. I don't. I don't know. I'm just happy I'm not one of those people like those in the comic book store that were talking about like how Watchmen wasn't really good, and I'm just like, the fuck were you watching?
What?
Oh, Kick Ass is also another good adaptation, though they changed a lot from the comic, but it was necessary
They
changes, I
did.
believe. Yeah,
That's a good one.
it changed a whole lot from the comic, but it's just
Um,
necessary
Batman
changes,
versus Superman was supposed to be based on The Dark Knight Returns.
and we see it.
Yeah, it's totally there.
We see it. Is it people? I don't
It's
know.
not. It's not like they left a lot of stuff out, but still, it's that, and then the ending was the death of Superman.
Mm-hmm. But what's gonna? Oh my God! This new Justice League are coming, and then they just announced
I
Jared
can't
Leto's coming
wait.
back
Yes, I think that's why I watch Suicide Squad so much. It's just for the Jared Leto scene.
because you're really fascinated. You wanted more, and
It's
you hate
fascinating.
the fact that they didn't add more because I think the reason that people did not accept that Joker was because we were not given more of it. You know what I'm saying? We
Yeah,
didn't
they dangle the character in front of you and then pull it away when you start liking him. You're like,
exactly.
wait, I understood why he's like this. I get the character now, and then we find out there's this director's cut that's awesome and it has more of the scenes in there. But then you find out there's still like 30 minutes of Joker shit that they took out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, put it back in and watch everybody like the movie.
Nobody got to
Right?
be invested. We got to be invested
Yeah.
in everybody else. We got really invested into Harley Quinn because
Oh,
we had
totally.
more of them, but we didn't get to be invested into this Joker. The reason why the Joker movie itself worked because we're totally invested into this character, you know?
And he's the main character through the whole movie. Is you're
Exactly.
following the Joker the whole time. If they would have done more Jared Leto Joker, people would have been like more on board with Suicide Squad instead of shitting all over it.
Yeah. There was a lot of backstory to this character that was not just put out there in our faces because I believe
Mhm.
they had a plan to fucking, you know, draw it out a little bit more. I I sure enough when watching that movie am felt empty because I'm like, okay, but I wanted more with this guy,
Yep.
you know? Like I felt like I needed more from this. You can't make a primary character and put him into a movie and make him a secondary character. It's just hard to do.
Right.
You know, you can't do that. Even the show Gotham took the Joker, and he's a secondary character, but he was a primary character as well because he is a
Yep.
primary character in the whole story and future of the main character. You know, you got Batman, you got Joker, you got Gordon, and you got all these other
Hmm.
fucking rogue gallery. You got Robin, Catwoman. These are primary characters. Joker is a primary character, not a secondary character. He should have been
Right.
more invested, more involved, and from what you're telling me, he was. But the studio
Yep.
removed a lot of it.
Most of the things that people complain about in the DC movies is things that the studio wanted.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, for most causes, Zack Snyder, since he made so many of the movies, he's responsible for the bulk of them. His, idea for the DCU and everybody else that made movies connected to it, like Suicide Squad or Wonder Woman, Aquaman, they still had to follow that main storyline for that universe. But again, most of the things that people complain about is because of Warner Brothers, not DC. DC is like, we want more of this and this and that, and then Warner Brothers comes in and says no, and they're like their own worst enemy. If they would leave DC alone to make their own movies, they would be phenomenal.
Yeah, it's true. But it looks like they're
That's
learning their lesson.
yeah, finally, and that's why I'm so excited for this Snyder cut of Justice League because they're gonna do it right. They gave him the money and everything he needed to make that movie what it was supposed to be.
The real question is this movie just gonna be another just like okay here it is as a one-off kind of stuff, or is this movie just gonna be like okay we're just we're redoing that last one didn't happen. This is the official one, and this is still part of that whatever we're still working and expanding on. Because clearly it's like multiple universes and shit like that. Because we got a Batman and we
Right.
got a Joker and we got like shit just happening everywhere.
It should be like you said, replace the one that went to theater, the regular Justice League, and then all the sequels and movies that take place after should be based on the Snyder cut.
Yeah. And then like I said,
And that's it.
everything
Bye.
everything leads up to that Flash movie because I think that's gonna
Yes.
really set up a lot of what the hell's gonna happen around the thing. And the TV shows have shown, and I believe really did set up what we're gonna experience later. I just say that because the Flash met the movie Flash, so it's got to be something.
Mhm.
You know, they won't just let that happen to happen. I think they even said like, yo, they had a plan and we got an agreement and we were able to put this in the fucking show because something they plan in the future or whatever.
And that was like what was so disheartening about Justice League bombing like it did and being so hated was because it was supposed to set up this huge fucking universe of movies, just like the Marvel movies did.
Mm-hmm.
And DC was going to be finally getting, in the right limelight to do that. And then everybody just shit on everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll admit, as a true DC fan, uh, Justice League is not great.
No.
I'll still watch it, but I'm gonna watch the director's cut.
And as I'm replying to 16-bit, like we do watch the animated films and we love them, but we want them to be given the same treatment as the animated films, the live action
Yes.
movies, you know? Like I'm saying. Like things there's certain things that work only in comic and animation that won't work in live action. You gotta know how to work it out.
Yep.
Oh, I 16-bit. I told you I haven't watched them because I haven't watched them, not because I just refuse to. Like, oh, I hate fucking DC anime. I just haven't watched them. To me, these movies drop like too quick, and I'm not
They do.
catching up. I'm not catching up to them. I will watch them. I will, and I want to. There's the Superman Lives, no Superman Death, the Death of Superman movies they made. I wanted to watch them, and there's the new one. There's Death of the Family, Batman Death of the Family coming out. I want to see that badly. I
I'm
actually
gonna
read
watch
that
that
one, you
so
know.
hard.
Yeah. So, but I need to make the time and watch these things, and there's so many, and I'm hoping now with this little integrated DC and HBO Max thing that all those movies like DC Universe are gonna be added onto HBO Max, and I'm just gonna go
They
fucking
are.
ham on that. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna go ham on them. I don't need it though. I could go anywhere else and watch these. One day I'm gonna make a fucking I'm gonna make it my thing and be like, okay, I'm just watching these animated movies now. I'm gonna catch up to them and all this stuff. I don't hate them, but I'm not like those people who say like, "Oh, these are the best," and it's just that. No, I believe that everything they make is the best and should be the best, and I'll even admit if
Yep.
they're not the best. And as Rachel said, we admit Justice League is not the best. It's not. It's enjoyable. We accept it for what it tried, but that's why we want to see this, where it actually is supposed to be what it was, and not fucking put apart because of fucking studios and political shit and all that, whatever.
Hmm.
You know?
And before we wrap up, like I'll even go into shit that I don't like about Justice League, and the biggest one is Superman's lip. I
Yes.
can't see past it. It bugs the shit out of me.
Yes.
They should have just waited until after he was done filming Mission Impossible
Mm-hmm.
when he could shave the mustache off and then shot his scenes.
It just
It's awful
it
the
just
way that
bugs
they
you.
did his face. It
Yeah,
bugs me.
it throws and
There's
what's what's even worse is that that's the first shit you see. So you're already
That's the
thrown
first
off.
fucking thing you've seen. Yeah, and you're like, oh, what was that? That, and then, people complain to Warner Brothers about Batman being too serious. He's Batman. He's always too serious.
Yeah.
So
And
in
then he
Justice League,
became
they try to make him funny, and it bugs the shit out of me.
it tried to make everybody fuck it gave a little bit humor it gave it a little bit humor and it was like, okay, cool. There's some humor, but Batman is serious. There's a particular
You,
humor to him, and that was kind of not like all of a sudden he wasn't as fucking serious.
there's one joke in the movie that Batman made that was relevant, that
Mm-hmm.
was funny, and it was in lieu of being Batman. When he asked, "What's your superpower?" And he goes, "I'm rich." I
Exactly.
was like, "That is some shit Batman would
That's it.
say."
His humor should be like that, like in the series and the cartoons and stuff like that. He is like think of Leslie Nielsen and his movies, deadpan humor.
Yeah, very deadpan. You won't. Sometimes you won't get the joke until you've walked away, and you're like, "Wait, what? Did he just make a joke?"
Yeah, that's what Batman should
he's
be.
Yeah, he's smart. He's deadpan, and it's not gonna be like a joke the Flash would tell or something Aquaman would say. So them forcing him to try to be funny and likable in Justice League bugged me.
Yeah. So there was problems, there was issues, and we're excited to see what the true version will be like. Plus, we're comic book geeks, man. We just love everything comic book. We're not so fucking
It's
harsh on
true.
them and stuff like that. I've seen stuff where I'm like, it could be better, but I'm not gonna be like, this is the worst shit of my life.
You know what else is a great comic book movie adaptation that I love that people shit on? Howard
What?
the Duck.
Howard the Duck is
That movie's phenomenal.
the
It even had
best.
its own song. Phenomenal. I love that movie.
The best. And I'm glad that like some basketball player or something mentioned he loved Howard the Duck, and now everybody just like agreeing with him, coming out and saying like, yes, Howard the Duck is
Mhm.
this and this and this and this, because it is. Howard the Duck is fucking amazing, and people should realize that fucking movie is a, a cinematic masterpiece.
It is. Totally.
Total
That
cinematic
movie
masterpiece.
deserves its own star in the Walk of Fame.
It does. It does. Right next to George Lucas because he made it happen, and George shouldn't be ashamed of fucking Howard the Duck. He should be
Hell
proud of
no.
Howard the Duck. Just the same
I
reason
love
people
that
now
movie.
are realizing Howard the Duck is great is the same that people now are realizing that the Star Wars prequels were actually fucking really good.
Except for the Padres.
We agree to disagree. Oh shit! And on that note, we gonna have to kick you out of the machine room, guys. I'm sorry, but you got here and we discussed about a lot of things. We fucking put our 2 cents in the debate. Who gives a shit? We talked about movies like crazy because that's what we like to do. And at the same time, I hope you guys were like, "Huh, I've never seen that," or "Huh, I want to see that again." So go out there and watch Gross Point Blank, Howard the Duck, watch all the DC animated movies, which I should do, and
Yes.
watch fucking The Watchmen and watch Justice League again and just try to enjoy some. I mean, the movie had Superman beat up the Justice League. I love that scene. I mean, especially when he looked
That was
over
great.
and saw the Flash running, and the Flash is
Oh
like,
my God.
"Oh shit!"
I love that.
Yeah, it's little gems. You know, the movie's not perfect
Mm-hmm.
at all. Little gems like that you gotta appreciate and realize. And let's just hope that,
And his lip wasn't fucked up. That was
yeah, yeah.
that was before.
I just can't wait to see something that just erases all that shit and actually makes it happen. And it's like, okay, this is what it was supposed to be. Thank God.
To support what 16-bit was saying, just before we go, what is your favorite animated Batman or animated DC movie?
From what I've seen so far, I have to say maybe Flashpoint.
Flashpoint was good.
Is a toss up between Flashpoint and one of the Batmans. Can't remember which one. Oh, there was the Superman Batman Public Enemies because I really like them together. But that shows you how far back I am, you know? Like I haven't seen
Right.
the latest Supermans and shit.
Mine is Batman Under the Red Hood.
Oh, that one is good.
I can watch that over and over and over. It's so fucking good.
That one is fucking good. And also the other one where that's not the one with the one that they put the Court of Owls in it.
I
You seen
wasn't
that?
it. That was different.
Yeah, I know, but I saw that one. Whatever it's called.
Yeah.
With Damon and,
Isn't it
the Court of Owls and shit.
isn't it called Court of Owls?
Probably, I don't know. Probably is. Who knows? Who fucking knows? But thank you guys
Just
for being
plain
here.
just plain Joe said The Dark Knight Returns and Return of the Joker. The Dark Knight Returns is fucking awesome.
And Return of the
That
Joker
would be
is
like
fucking
my
great
runner
too.
up.
If
Yes.
we okay, like if we're talking about like out of all the entire library and not just the new ones that are actually like go together, then yeah, Return of the Joker is like hands down. the best.
Mask of the Phantasm, that one's fucking amazing.
Fucking amazing too.
Absolutely. Tell people where they can find us.
Oh, you guys, what? It's like like a game show. Well, actually, you can find us all on machineroompodcast.com, right? Am I right? I'm right, right?
Yes.
Okay, machineroompodcast.com. That's right. You can find us right there, machineroompodcast.com. Follow us on Twitch at Machine Room Podcast. Also, follow us on Twitter at Real Machine Room. Not the real, just Real Machine Room, right?
Real Machine Room. Also
Yeah.
on Instagram, but we don't know how to sign in, so
Fuck
you won't ever see
Instagram.
anything posted.
Fuck Instagram. Just Twitter. And of course, check out our YouTube at Machine Room Podcast. But as always, you can listen to us on the go anywhere on iTunes, Google Play, or Spotify at Machine Room Podcast. That's right, guys. We're everywhere. You can listen to our voice all the time, 24/7 at this point. We got 48 episodes at this point. You could. Is it 47 or 48? It's 47?
48 if we can count the one with the communion.
And that one too. Guys, we're just I'm turning to Casey Kasem right here trying to sell you Machine Room Podcast. I'm Nostradamus and that's Hammer of Venus and you've just been in the Machine Room. Thank you for joining us and have a good night.
Good night.
Machine Room Podcast was filmed in front of a live studio audience. I'm lying. It wasn't.
The Killing Joke ending is pretty epic.
The Killing Joke ending is the best. All right, then. Good night.